We have one more presenter, and it's very kind of you to also stay to hear probably the person who knows most about the students than any of us, and that is Christian Erickson, because he himself is a student, was a City College student, has transferred to UCLA, was a student of Melinda's, worked in enrollment services, was the person on the front lines answering all those help questions and chat lines, and has just such a heart for this work, and we're so very, very grateful that Christian's a part of this team and helps keep us grounded in our students' voice and their students' experiences. Christian, thank you for being so understanding and being willing to go at the end so other people could have a slot earlier, and we are just very grateful to have you here and to learn from you. Thanks so much, Christian.
Thank
and
you
we're all here still listening. Yay!
Thank you for that introduction, Margaret. We can go ahead and move on to the next slide. Okay, so a few nights ago, I decided to take a walk through my old high school, Foothill Technology in Ventura. While walking through the empty campus, I was flooded with memories. High school was marked by a lot of ups and downs for me, and by the end, mostly downs. At one moment, though, during the walk, my mind turned to SBCC. All of a sudden, I remembered how I used to feel about SBCC back in my senior year of high school. For me, going to City College meant an exciting and fresh start, but also an entirely alien and anxiety-provoking plunge into the unknown. It's hard to say what feeling was stronger back then, my excitement or my fear. My first time on our campus was for a class planning session, and I went into the experience far more nervous than excited. After quickly applying, I'd been shocked to find out that I had to actually come to campus to attend the session. On the drive up, my friend who I rode with intermittently texting on the freeway only worsened my nerves. This was my first time doing anything college-related in person, and I simply had no idea what to expect. Once the session actually began, my feelings changed completely. From the get-go, I was so attentively assisted with everything. I was thoughtfully recommended which classes to take. I was helped with the process of filling out my prerequisite forms, and I was presented with a lot of helpful information about finding balance between study and outside activities. I asked a lot of anxiety-fueled questions, and to my surprise, they were all calmly answered. I left that day with a big smile on my face, feeling now far more excited than afraid about starting college. Like I was, many of our students are coming to our campus experiencing a mix of fear and excitement. And in this sense, the impression we give them can tip the scale. To me, part of how we tip this scale is by showing a willingness to go above and beyond, just like the staff in my class planning session did for me. That could mean we send an email instead of providing an email address the student needs. It could also mean we make a call for them instead of providing a phone number. And it could also just be as simple as telling them, I don't have the answer right now, but I'm going to work with you to find it. Our students come from diverse backgrounds, and I wouldn't pretend to think the same approach works with everyone. What I will say, though, is that in my time working in enrollment services, I learned that simply showing you care about the outcome of the student can go a really long way. I feel we have the power to help each of our students feel as I did leaving that class planning session 4 years ago. We have the power to help tip that scale between fear and excitement and leave them feeling hopeful for the future. Thank you.
Please let's unmute and unvideo and give your appreciation to Christian.
Thank you, Christian. That was amazing.
Thank you, Christian.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you. I'm always so inspired and moved when we hear from our students. And Christian, I really appreciate your representing our students' experience with us. Thank you.
My pleasure.
We have to keep that at the heart of everything we're doing and why we're doing what we're doing always. And I'm going to ask you to always speak at each of our training pre-calls. If I could ask you one follow-up question, please, Christian, it's this, and that is, when you answered the phone calls of the panicked, fearful students, what advice do you have for us also that we as guides can do to help right away, and especially at the beginning of that journey?
I think one of the things I think that I learned doing that was that when someone calls, at least in my experience, and they're upset, sometimes they kind of just want to hear you kind of say back to them what they told you, so that they know that you understand the issue. So like I would often be like, so I just want to clarify the situation, and I would just sort of explain to them back in my words what they told me, and then often that seemed to initially calm them down. I think a lot of, for me, the working the phones was just people didn't, I think it was making people feel heard. And I think also just, even if it was a situation in which in enrollment services we couldn't necessarily solve ourselves, I think trying to show them that I wanted to make sure that they found the answer. And I do think everyone at the school wants that. I don't mean to suggest that they don't, but I just meant, like, I think trying to really go out of my way to show, like, I can't answer this for you, but I'm going to stay with you until we find a really concrete way to find this solution, even if it's not a solution that I have. And sometimes that meant the call goes long. But I think for some students, that really is what they need, especially because, sometimes students are coming to us and they're not in a good place. And I think they need to be kind of comforted.
Thank you. That's so well said. I'm glad we have this recorded, so we have that for everyone to hear. I want to mention to the whole room also that Christian is the person who's doing all the outreach and invitations to the students who our students will be guiding. The students who participated in our development team all said that it was due to the way Christian reached out to them that made them want to be a part of the group, and they recommended that he be the one to reach out to our students, and he's graciously agreed to take that on. So thanks again, Christian, for doing that for us also. We couldn't do this program without you.